Welcome back to the IB student interview with Johnny, Tsadi, and Nasma, part 3, and we thank you for your continued interest in this discussion. Definitely agree with all that. Malcolm did say the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. So just echoing all of the stuff that you guys said. Also to just add on to that, I personally feel like IB is like a better learning environment, honestly. Like I learn better. Like obviously, like if I was in a regular class, like I could get the good grade, like probably like easy, but like I feel like actually learning content and understanding stuff is way easier in IB than like other classes. And it is kind of unfortunate because I feel like at least at Inderkum, like there's like better teachers for like IB classes opposed to like, regular classes. But I do kind of feel like I learn better also with the environment of people who want to learn.
So chances are in California, we have CSUs and we also have UCs, but I don't know how the CSU system is, but the UC system is primarily quarter system. And you guys have been doing like semester, or everyone who's watching, you guys have been doing semester. Once you get into the quarter system, you understand how quick school goes. So I think preparedness is something that is gonna be a tool. If you use it correctly and early, it's gonna be something that's gonna pay off. That's it.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you for adding that in. And then our last question, what are 3 pieces of advice you have for students either applying or just joining the IB program? If you guys can think of 3, if not, just as many as you can think of, some advice that you give for these students.
Okay, I can start off. I think number 1 for me is really utilizing like I said before, utilizing your resources. So I think the biggest one is like being collaborative with your other classmates. At least in my experience, that has been such a big help. And I know some classes are more competitive than others. Like the year before me, 2021, apparently it was quite a competitive class, but my class happens to be very collaborative and very non-competitive, even though we're in this higher level program. But for me, it was really about like doing study sessions with other people, working on projects together when that was allowed. So I really feel like being able to have a support system in your classmates was a really big thing for me. And it has really helped me not just get through it, but also get through it like a little bit more happily, I guess, because I think that you can get through it on your own, but it's always nice when you have people around you who can make you laugh and make you smile while you're studying for a couple of hours on something that you might not be that interested in. So that'd definitely be my first piece of advice. And then number 2 is balance. I think some people think that just doing IB is enough, but it's really not. And I feel like you also have to make sure that you're doing things outside of school that are fulfilling to you, that you enjoy, but that will also keep you like a wholesome person, because doing IB is not going to be enough to pursue whatever you want to do down the line. So making sure that you have hobbies, or for me, like I mentioned before, it's community organizing and community service. I know some other people, it's volunteering at like vet centers and doing all that stuff. So it's really just finding a life outside of school as well, and making sure that you're able to get that balance and using time management to achieve it. And then number 3 would be make good connections with your teachers, because that's really, I think, saved me in a lot of ways. I think that teachers are much more understanding when they grade you and like when they're giving you resources, if you feel like you know them a little bit more. And also to not be afraid to advocate for yourself, because that's something I've definitely done that so much throughout high school. The way I've gotten like 10 tests pushed back, like all on my own. So I was like, you have to push this back. We need more time. So I really feel like knowing your teachers gives you that advantage. And then if they give out extra credit, you can go to them after school and be like, hey, I'm like struggling in this area. Can you give me an opportunity to bring my grade up? So I feel like that's a very underrated part of being a student, especially in IB, is really making sure that you have a healthy or appropriate relationship with your teacher that you can use to make sure that you understand the content and that you're getting the grades you need if that's important to you.
Those were all great, so I'm gonna give you just one. But I think it's a pretty big one. I think it's I would say to contextualize like your present in alignment with your goals, so you don't slack off. So what I mean is like in high school, in college for sure, believe it or not, you're gonna take a class that you could care less about. So like if you put that in the context of your goals, um, knowing that okay, if I mess up or I slack off in this class, it's gonna hurt my GPA. So, but and then if your future goal is graduate school, if your future goal is just having a good GPA for to help your resume, to get an internship, or whatever it is, instead of viewing something as it is, view it as something how how boring it could be. View it as something like that's something that you need, and therefore it'll motivate you to get through it and put in the necessary work to get through it.
Yeah, 100%. Those are some great goals that we've heard so far. I'd give I think I have two I can think of right now. One is stay grinding. Like that's like the biggest thing. Like grind don't stop. Just you got to keep on working for it. I think anyone can you can do anything you put your mind to. So continue to work for it. Like I said, talk to your teachers, great study groups, all these things. Do extracurriculars, great thing. And then a second thing is, which is not even just for IB, but for all students, look for leadership stuff. So I know classes can be hard, you got to spend time with that, but I think a really important thing is finding ways to do extracurriculars where you have some type of leadership role or doing something if you're in a club and there's a position on it that I can apply for it. I think when it comes to getting into good colleges, I think leadership positions in multiple clubs, I think is really important. What some people may not know is that recruiters sometimes will just go down the line and look at your extracurriculars and say, oh, leadership position, nope, skip it. Then if it is leadership, +1. And then just keep on doing plus. And then they add up your numbers, they do some type of stuff. But leader positions in clubs and extracurriculars, I think is really important, whether it's a sport, whether it's you want to do Black Student Union, whether it's want to do college career readiness, whether it's you want to do a math club, anything like that. I think those are just really important things to get to your goals.
In high school, it's I think especially in Inderkum, I think you guys still have the club rush. So what I think you guys should do is just join as many clubs as you can. Just join them all on that day. Because believe it or not, even though it might sound against your interests when you first see it, you never know what it's going to be. And especially high school is a great place to explore your interests, because as well as going off what Tsadi said, it's important to be involved and have a leadership position in these places, but it's also important to find something you really like, because if you don't like them, it's usually a reflection of how much effort you put into that club. So explore your interests, find what you believe in, your ideologies or whatever, all that is. It's important to find yourself early so you could better align that with your future.
Yeah, I definitely agree with all of that. And that is the end of our interview. We thank you, Tsadi, Johnny, and Nasma, once again for being such an amazing contribution to this discussion, and hope to continue connecting with you in the future. Thank you again to our listeners for being a part of this discussion as well. We hope that you enjoyed our podcast. Make sure to keep up to date with new stories and interviews in the near future.